Today's episode is called Life, Family, Business. Are you fully protected?
Educate your money now.
Hello, and welcome to Educating Your Money podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Crew Case, owner of Matnick Bookkeeping Services. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. Today's episode is called Life, Family, Business. Are you fully protected? We will be discussing the different life insurance options, important reasons why business owners should have life insurance, and if there are any tax advantages for having a policy. We would like to thank Out and About Business Solutions for sponsoring our podcast. Today's guest is Saesha Herrell. Saesha is not Vegas born, but is Vegas raised, and she considers Vegas her home. As a UNLV student, she started a career in the hospitality industry. Working in the heart of the city opened her eyes to the opportunity and the growth of this city. As a financial professional, she looks forward to using her strength and service to help the community take advantages of the opportunities, reach their goals, and build a more secure future. Together, she will make sure your family, your business, and your legacy is Vegas strong. Hello, Saesha, and thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well.
Good. Unfortunately, many people probably don't have a life insurance policy in place now, and many of them, if they do, probably are underinsured and not even have enough to help their families after they're gone. Many of them probably just have enough maybe to bury themselves. When people think about life insurance, they're not thinking of terms of maybe their legacy or how their families are going to be able to sustain themselves once they're gone. And for many business owners especially, should be thinking in terms of how they are leaving their legacy and some peace of mind for their families, as well as the business that may be standing, beyond them even being here. So Saesha, we have, as an agent, we have a bunch of questions from some of our followers that I like to ask. What are the different types of life insurance options available and their benefits?
So there's really two core main types of life insurance, but there's a lot of variations within those. And I always suggest people to meet with an agent. Don't just shop online because the customizations are very important. The two core types are going to be whole life insurance and term insurance. Whole life is going to be our permanent solution that locks in our health rating and our age, so that locks in the lower price for us. Because the two main components that will determine how much we're spending on insurance is our health and our age. It's always cheaper when we're younger and healthier, of course. So whole life insurance will lock in those things and then also give us a cash value component that can be used as an asset or asset creator that is also given out at the tax-free rate or tax-deferred rate. Whereas term is going to be similar to renting, so that it covers us just in a certain period of time if something happens. It's going to be more on the affordable side. You got to get your bang for your buck with term, but it is short-term and short-sighted because it doesn't have that asset growth, and you're only guaranteed for those fixed amount of times.
So Saesha, what are some of the benefits of each of those that an individual as well as a business owner should be aware of?
Yeah, so with term, the real benefit is the amount of insurance you get for the dollar, right? So for myself, I have a good combination of term and whole life because I needed a higher amount of insurance but didn't want to spend so much. While I'm still young, I wanted to lock in a term price. So you can leverage your flexibility in your funds and get a bigger amount of insurance for a lower dollar. But the plus side of the whole life policies is the tax treatment and the growth within the account. So whole life policies have a cash value component that you can access throughout the lifetime of the policy for opportunities or emergencies, and it's given out at a tax-free basis because you've already paid taxes on the dollars going in. And as a business owner too, at times, depending on how your tax filing is and everything with your tax professional, you may be able to write off some of those premiums and reduce your taxable income for your business.
So what are some important reasons why business owners should think about putting insurance policies in place to safeguard themselves, their families, as well as their businesses?
As a business owner, the most important thing sometimes is you, because you are the brains behind it, you are the operations, you are the engine that keeps it running. So when you're not there to run it, who is running your business? With life insurance in place, you can do a few things. You can create a succession plan and make sure you have an employee coming up that will be able to do that and buy out your piece of the company, or you can have it so that you're able to purchase your partner's half of the company in case something happens to them. That is what we would call a buy-sell agreement. And those are written into a lot of contracts, but they're not usually funded. You can fund that with life insurance in a very affordable way. You can also create a retirement fund for yourself within a life insurance policy that has tax treatment like no other account, and also has guarantees that no other accounts can have for you.
And so you mentioned definitely like a partnership, and especially for those that are sole proprietors, how can a business owner leverage a policy that they may have?
If you have a policy on yourself, depending on what your tax professional would advise you, you could create a policy where the company is the owner, and that way you can write off the premium. So now you're not really coming out of pocket those dollar amounts. You can also use it to create an employee benefit pool for your employees and have them locked into it, kind of golden handcuffs for them. If you have someone that you can't replace, you can do a key man policy, and that way you can cover the cost of replacing that person should something happen to them.
And what happens if a business owner gets sued, and what happens to the policy in those particular situations?
If a business owner is sued and they have a life insurance policy, in the state of Nevada, it has great creditor protection, meaning that whoever is suing you, whatever entity, if they're coming after you individually or you as a business, they can't touch that life insurance policy. Now, there's other states that have creditor protection where they have limits on how much is actually protected in the policy, but Nevada is full protection.
Wow, that's great. And you mentioned earlier about some of the tax advantages. What are some of the tax advantages for someone owning a policy, especially a business owner?
The tax advantages would be that the growth in the account is completely tax-free, so you wouldn't pay taxes on it when you take it out, unlike most accounts that you have in retirement. There's no penalties or limitations with how much you can put in or take out and when you can access it. So the tax advantage is going to be that it's deductible and it lowers your taxable income, and that way you kind of recoup those expenses.
So this probably could have been an option for those that may have had to tap into their retirement or their IRAs during the pandemic. This could have been an option for them as well to be able to get some money or just have an extra safety net during these troubling times.
Yeah, we saw that a lot, actually. A lot of business owners were able to go into their whole life policies, and it's typically just whole life that you'll see has the cash value component. Term really doesn't give you any growth because of the affordability. So with the cash value whole life policies, they were able to go in there and take out basically loans from themselves and be their own bank and not have to take out a small business loan or wait for the approval, wait for the government grants, and then they can structure it so that they pay it back to themselves when they're able to and when they're completely ready. But when they took out that loan, also it's tax-free. Mm-hmm. So if you were able to use that money to keep your doors open or pay your employees longer, now you don't have to pay double taxes on those funds, whereas with some loans, you may have to pay taxes on them as well.
That is so true. Yeah. I know it's kind of in hindsight, it's 2020, but those are some things if they would have sat down with their insurance agent and some other professionals prior to, and that's basically what life insurance is kind of the proactive of things happening. And if they would have sat down, they might have been able to work out something where they could have had multiple safety nets in place.
Exactly. The two things that we can guarantee in life are death and taxes. And life insurance is the one thing that can really cover you on both, especially as a business owner. So now that we know this, you can still do that moving forward as long as we are healthy. That is the main thing. Money can't always buy us life insurance. At times people don't qualify for it, even if they're very wealthy. So that's why we always try to encourage being proactive about it, because we never know what tomorrow holds. So you want to lock in your insurability now while we're younger, hopefully, and definitely on the healthier side.
Definitely. Thank you. So Saesha, on top of offering a free consultation, you have a couple of documents that you're willing to share with the followers, one being a circle of solutions and the other insurance solution card for our audience if they are interested. Be sure to post #life if you would like to receive a copy of these documents. Saesha, can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, so the two pieces really go hand in hand. We'll start with the circle of services. That is really just an overlook of the things that we offer as a company to our business clients and our business owner clients. That first square that you'll see, it talks about employee solutions, and that's a way for us to guarantee that we keep our best employees and give them benefits that other companies might not be able to, but without it coming out of our pockets. We do defined benefit plans, and we do group life insurance as well. So that's going to cover the employee solutions. With that in mind too, if you're covering your employees, you definitely want to cover yourself. So personal solutions would just be personal life insurance for you as the individual. We also do retirement planning and long-term care planning as well, because that can play a big part into retirement as far as how far our money goes. With business solutions, that is a way we can protect the business and protect the succession of the business. That will give us options to fund certain things in our contracts, like the buy-sell agreements, or create key person employee or key person policies for our employees. And we also offer executive benefit solutions, and that's going to be our golden handcuffs. That's a way to really honor the top of the company and do it in a tax beneficial way. Because anything we run through the business gets preferential tax treatment in some ways, depending on how you're filed. With the business solutions card, that just kind of harps more on protecting the best thing in the business, not to you, the business owner. You want to make sure that the business that you have worked so hard for is not going to just dissipate when something happens to you, especially if you want it to be passed down to your family, or if you want to control who it's passed to outside of your family.
Yeah, this is great information. I would like to thank Saesha for taking time out of her busy schedule, coming on the show and sharing her expertise. Be sure to post any comments or questions below. Let us know if there is a topic you'd like to have discussed on the show. Comment below or email educatingyourmoney@gmail.com. And if you are interested in receiving the Circle of Services and the insurance solution card, be sure to post #life below. Saesha, if any of our followers had any questions or wanted to reach out to you to discuss more, how can they get a hold of you?
You can reach me via phone at 702-426-1851, or you can search me on Facebook, LinkedIn, or just online at Saesha Herrell. There's not many of us out there.
That's great. Thank you for watching Educating Your Money podcast, where it's not just about making money, but about educating money. See you next Monday for the next episode. Thank you and be safe. Thanks, Saesha.
Thank you.